What's up, everybody? Back at it again. You already know who it is. You're tuned into the Mind of Opex. And I just started driving, and there's a cop right here, so I'm going to put my phone down a little bit. But, let's dive into it, shall we? Cue no intro. Because that's a waste of time. We're a philosophy channel, not an entertainment channel. I've talked about it in the past, about the Great Reset, about depopulation, about the elites and secret societies and the occult. I've talked about all this shit, right? Instead of aligning to the Great Reset, just being ignorant of the Great Reset, whatever it may be, I'm encouraging you, strongly encouraging you, to start calling it the Great Resistance and being part of it. The Great Resistance. Look, we're going to dive into some deep shit in here, but ultimately, what we're talking about in this video is making sure you resist. If you don't resist, this will inevitably come. If you think this is no harm, no foul, it's just the way that the world's going and you're just going to be a sheep and just going along with it, this video isn't for you. Unsubscribe to my channel. You're a waste of space on this planet. Period. Unsubscribe to the channel, please. I have no time to be preaching to people who are retarded. So, if you do have a brain and a concept in that brain of bettering the world or bettering your life or any type of betterment, this is the video for you. So we can talk about all day long the Great Reset and how evil it is. Let's just dive into one of those things right now, shall we? Now, it's not technically part of the Great Reset, but it's the climate change bullshit, right? And we've talked about this on my channel plenty of times, that climate change doesn't exist. There's no evidence towards it. The sun trumps cow farts, etc., right? So what I'm trying to say is that they are, regardless of the facts, they are trying to determine your future, our future. Here's another cop. There's a lot of cops in my area today, so I'm putting my phone back down again. Because I don't want to be pulled over for bullshit, right? And then them smelling narcotics in the car and bullshit, right? Whatever. Let's just dive into it. They want you to get off of meat. Off of meat. This would be the meat that you know today as beef, for example, because cows fart, and that's a problem. So they want you off of cow meat, which is beef, or any type of pork and white meat and goats and all this shit, right? Which is nutrient dense. This is about 94% protein source, right? 94% is a huge source of protein. Of course, we usually consume protein in terms of muscle protein rather than the other thousands of proteins there are that your body needs. But anyways, muscle protein is very important. Not just getting muscle yourself, but it's very important for a plethora of reasons. And we're not here to dive into why this is important. But just know we are going from a nutrient-dense thing, food source, and they want to replace that with Beyond Meat or the Impossible Burger, right? Well, it bleeds just the same, and it looks like blood, and you can't even tell it's not real meat. Your body can. When you're eating beef, and that energy is digested and converted into energy, that energy becomes part of you, and then, you know, for 2 days, basically, meat's being digested in you, right? Because it is a huge, densely packed protein source. The only protein source that's even more protein is 97% eggs. Eggs are even more of a protein source. But either way, they're trying to get you off of eggs. They're trying to get you off of real food that we've been consuming for thousands of years, and they want to replace it with fake meats. This would be non-meats. And the meats that they are going to allow you to have are called bugs and insects. Do you want to be eating bugs and insects, or do you want a fucking nice juicy tenderloin steak? They don't want you to eat the steak anymore. So what are you gonna do? Regardless of their reasoning, climate change, or whatever the bullshit reasoning, what are you gonna do about it? Bend over and take it like a taxpayer? Or are you gonna fucking resist? Take things into your own hands. Food is a very important currency, and without having ownership of that currency, you are allowing them to have ownership of that currency, of food. And you know what they're doing. They're taking out the nutrients, replacing it with cardboard, basically. And that's very important, to have these nutrients that they don't want you to have. Why don't they want you to have it? Let's be real. Why would they want you to not be nutrient-based? Why do they put fluoride in the water? Why do they do everything that they're doing? To keep you dumb, docile, weak, and dependent. Too dumb to question, too docile to fucking ever resist, and dependent on them for food source. Henry Kissinger once said, to control a nation, you must control the food supply. Woo! Come on, guys. What are they doing? They're trying to control you. They're trying to make you weak and dependent and docile. That's the God-honest truth, regardless of climate change and cows fart and you bring carbon into the atmosphere. Okay, what happens in 20 years after that carbon's in the atmosphere? It comes back down and starts turning back into a normal carbon source again. It is a normal source that recycles. But you're not ready for that conversation yet. There's only 2 species of invertebrates that eat cardboard often. You can talk about cockroaches, mainly the German cockroach. Oh my God, this guy's just gonna fucking crawl, huh? The German cockroach, which can eat paper towels and survive and be able to grow and reproduce off of nothing. There's no nutrients in a paper towel. That's half plastic. It's nothing. There's no nutrients. But they're able to survive. Humans, we eat bullshit all the time. Bullshit. Non-nutrient sources all the time. From your fucking potato chips to whatever, right? Your processed bullshit that came in a bag or a box. Do you think Pop-Tarts are fucking sustainable? No, there's a reason why you got diabetes and all these problems today. Does the FDA look out for your best interest? No. They are approving bullshit, non-food sources as consumables. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't. They never have. Government doesn't care about you. The elites don't care about you. The banks don't care about you. Nobody gives a fuck about you. No one. No one who's actually moving the world order in the direction it's going gives a fuck about you. In fact, on the topic of Great Reset, the people that are constructing the Great Reset are the same people that call you useless eaters, that you're in the way, you're useless, and you're just consuming. Now, I agree with them, but that's neither here or there. The point is, they don't give a fuck about you. I do. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't. Because I could be doing something else right now and keeping my sanity. But nope, I'm trying to preach to people that don't understand reality and to explain reality simply through philosophy and try to resist tyranny. The most peaceful philosophy, anarchy. Right? With anarchy, there could be no great resets. With philosophy, there could be no great resets. Because people would understand reality and understand the Hitler-esque things they are trying to do. Alright, food. Give a fuck about your food. Start your own chicken coop. Start your own cattle ranch. Start your own food for your own block, right? Or your community. Make sure that your community's well off. Train them, teach them how to garden and how to grow your own food when Bill Gates is trying to replace all seeds with genetically modified, non-heirloom seeds. You don't want your tomatoes giving you fish allergies, do you? How about you fucking start taking food into your own hands? Get your own organic beefsteak tomato. Save your seeds after your harvest so you can start again next season. Start your own chicken coop. Get your own cattle. Do what you gotta do. There isn't much time left. And that's how we resist, is by being not dependent on them, essentially. As long as you're not dependent on them, they can't control you. They can't control, well, you better vote for us or else no more bugs. Now you're going to have no protein source. Do you want that tyranny? That's what they're doing. It's not a fucking maybe they're tyrannical. They're fucking taking away a huge source of nutrients for you and your family and controlling it and making sure you don't have any more. All right, food's done. Let's talk about something else. All right. Fossil fuels, again, climate change. Who cares about their reasoning? Why? Whether it's true or false, their reasoning, does it trump your freedom? You have the freedom to travel, at least in the United States. You have the freedom to travel. If they say that you can't travel because of climate change, resist. You have this freedom of travel. No matter how much they try to convince you otherwise, whether it's true, false, or whatever, it's tyranny. They don't want you to travel. They don't want you to own your own vehicle. They don't want you to own anything. We'll get to that later. Of course, we know the whole motto. You will own nothing and be happy. No, that's impossible, but we'll get to that later. They don't want you to have your own gas-powered vehicles and be able to do those things yourself. Now you're going to be dependent on others. You're going to be dependent on those with government permits to be able to weed whack your yard or whatever the case may be. Or you're going to have to just suffer and put everything onto the electrical grid. Now, of course, they have a monopoly and control over oil, right? They've had that monopoly for a while. You can create everything from gasoline to kerosene to whatever, right? Propane off of oil. So all of them sources, whether that's to heat your home, whether that's to whatever the case, right? There's a problem here. What's the problem, Opex? Your freedom to do what the fuck you want as long as you're not hurting anyone. But they want to say that, again, it doesn't matter the reasoning. We don't have to go into it. We've already discussed climate change many times. But what I'm trying to say is, they are not looking out for your best interests and worrying about about carbon. They don't care about that. That's just their reasoning to get you to surrender to them. If you surrender your food, you're not going to be able to drive vehicles unless they're autonomous and electric, meaning on their grid. Unless you're gridlocked on their monitoring system, they don't want you to drive. They don't want you to be out in public. They don't want you to have the freedom to travel unless you're heavily monitored. Is that tyrannical to you? It should be. So, what are we going to talk about now? They want to take away your freedom to travel. They want to take away your power. And of course, they have the monopoly on oil. They can set the prices on oil whatever they want. But here's the thing. It's not about Russian oil and Ukraine, and none of that shit matters. We have enough oil to last us how many lifetimes? Right here in the United States. And plus, there are other creatures that are going to die. You know what that means? I'm sorry, guys. That means more oil. We have endless supply of oil. Oil doesn't disappear. Yeah, it's going to be exhaust particulates and go into the atmosphere and then eventually go down and eventually become oil again. Plus, you're going to die. Your dog's going to die. The deer outside, the rabbits, they're going to die. And where do you think that their biological makeup's going to go? Probably in the earth. Okay, we can make an argument about climate change. Again, it's not the point. The point is, they want to restrict your freedom of travel. They already did that during COVID-19. And if you're dumb enough to believe COVID-19, I'm sorry, guys. If you believe that bullshit after everything you learned in virology and what viruses are, common colds, and then all of a sudden we got to shut down the economy and be tyrannical over something that they created at Pirbright, funded by Bill Gates. I mean, they created this monstrosity, and then they have the cure. Problem, reaction, solution much? So what I'm trying to get at here is, don't give up your freedoms. Whether that's nutrients, whether that's your freedom to travel. Why give that up? They don't have a good enough reason to give that up, right? Why do you want to be in Nazi Germany, where everyone's got their papers, but the papers are now inside of you because of the Coronavirus Identification 2019, which a lot of you already know. It's an identification platform. You're under a fucking database, dude. They have so much access to you, and they can change shit in you because they have a messenger RNA. I mean, we can dive into that bullshit all day long too. Resist. If government wants you to do something, resist. If the elites want you to do something, resist. They call you useless eaters, and they have an active agenda of murdering you. Active. Bill Gates has murdered more people than anyone ever has in history. He's going to go down in the history books as the biggest murderer of all. All right, they don't want you to own anything, huh? They don't want you to own their house, your own house. Why do they not want you to own your own house? Because they want you reliant on them. They want you paying rent and always having a bill and having no ownership or freedom of ownership or to do what you want on your own property. They don't want that. They want it in a communist form. Watch my video, Ownership Through Slavery, where I detail how ownership works, how the banks and then the government and then, all the way down there's the landlords, where they have some say on the property. They want to get rid of that too. They don't want you to have any say on your property. So they don't want you to be a landlord anymore. They want you paying rent, asking permission for everything you do. They don't want landlords. That's why BlackRock and these other organizations exist. If you know anything about BlackRock, they own about $10 trillion of assets worldwide. Yes, they are buying out your houses, and they're not the only ones. They're buying out your houses and renting them out. So no one has ownership over their property. That's why they say you will own nothing and you will be happy. And they're actively buying up your assets for way more than it's worth and selling it and allowing and renting it. So they're allowing you to be there under their circumstances. That's tyranny. They want you all to own nothing. You're not going to have the freedom to travel. You're going to be dumb and docile because you're going to be watching TV and have your VR headset on, and you're not going to eat anything healthy because you're popping in popcorn and shit without any nutrients, right? That's what they want. They don't want you to be strong and healthy and owning anything, because that's how we were able to fight back in 1776. Now, right now, what I'm offering you guys, I'm not trying to be the head of this, but I'm not seeing anyone trying to be, and I would be if I had to be, because I'm not scared. I'm willing to be the head of the Great Resistance. Now, of course, this is just a video, and I'm not actively trying to be, but I'm willing to be, because we need a leader. Of course, that puts a target on my back, etc. But we need to have a resistance here. This could be the biggest resistance of all time. Imagine 1776 worldwide. Woo! Now, of course, prophecy says that what I'm saying, the Great Resistance, is impossible because prophecy. But I'm offering it still. And we are still going to resist. Because the only way that they continue is if there's no resistance. If there is resistance, they can't continue. They can't. So, They don't want you to own anything. They want you dumb, docile, independent. Sounds like communism. Do you want communism in the world, or do you want freedom? I'm an anarchist. I don't like government. I don't like being told what to do, because 90% plus of the reasoning why is always horseshit. 10% have some meaning to it, but it's still not worth the bullshit. So what I'm saying is, if they want you dead, you're useless eaters. Oh. Let's see where the smoke's coming from. Alright, so anyways. Mao. Why is Mao famous? Why is Hitler famous? Why is Genghis Khan famous? And I've said this before. Let's say it again. Why are they famous? They're famous because they murdered more people. And in their occult agenda, the goal is to always keep humanity at low populations so they're easier to control and manipulate. How can the Great Reset happen if people like me and you are here? It's impossible. They can't force everyone to give up everything and their ownership and their freedoms. They can't force that on you unless 80% of you aren't here anymore. Did you hear me? 80% of you must die in order for their plan to work. So, is he trying to get over? I fucking hate people like that. So, the reason why Mao and everyone's famous is they want you dead. And they want to be, they're put in history books as being infamous through history because they murdered more innocent people. They controlled, murdered, and paved way for a world order. For thousands of years, this has been going on. There's no secret here except for the occults that don't want to tell you this shit. But it's no secret to anyone with eyes that see. Bill Gates has killed more people than anyone in history. He's going to go down in the history books as the biggest mass murderer in history. Not just from vaccinations and his seeds, his death seeds, and etc., right? There's so many reasons. I mean, there's millions of people he killed just in India. How many children did he kill in India and Africa? Let alone the United States and everywhere else. Now that his mutation serum has been broadcasted across the world and enforced, essentially. And not just the one mutation serum, all of them. Not one of them has been beneficial for human consumption. So, one guy tries to murder the most people in the world, and he's doing a good job. Of course, his parents are from Planned Parenthood, founded that shit, right? Their whole goal is to keep population down, you know? So, if his job, his primary job, is to keep the human population low, and doing it in a form where no one resists, he's going to kill a lot of people, a lot more people. No one's stopping him. I mean, fuck war crimes or wars on humanity. This is the ultimate fuck you to humanity from Bill Gates. And that's just one guy. Now let's talk about Klaus Schwab. He doesn't want us to own anything, and the only way that he can get away with this is if he murders us all and then enslaves the rest. And that's his plan. It's not just his plan, they're all in it together. That's why they're not fighting against each other, preventing it. Because they all want it to happen. When they all worship the fucking owl behind the fucking fire pit, this is their intention. This is their prayer. This is their goal. And they're all in it together. So, are you going to resist? Do you want to be strong and healthy and freedom to travel and have ownership over your own house and etc.? Do you want that, or do you want to remove all your freedoms and liberties and be diseased? It's up to you. They want you dead. Do you just blindly go along with it, being ignorant, or are you going to resist? They resist. What are they going to do? And if you don't resist, they're going to have to murder you either way. So, do you want to be the fucking slave at the end of times, or do you want to be, or the new times, whatever you want to call it, the new reset? And this isn't the first reset. This is going to be the greatest reset, because Klaus Schwab's name is going to be cemented in history forever, being the most evil, diabolical, Hitler-esque, Dr. Evil fucker of all time, where we all envisioned this fucker just stroking a naked cat and being Dr. Evil, right? We all envision that because that's the energy he's giving off, and energy doesn't die. Come on. Yeah, she was cute. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, I'm already at the beach here. I'm going to play some basketball. I'm going to enjoy my life. I am going to resist tyranny at all costs. And I believe philosophy will change the world. So I think no matter how many times they book burn, no matter how many times they censor, there's always going to be common sense. Common sense, reason and evidence based through logic is going to change the world, is going to benefit the world. Are you going to be part of the Great Resistance or the Great Reset? The choice is yours. Now it's Opex. I got plenty more coming. I got plenty more content coming. Stay tuned for that content. Plenty more coming. I haven't been dating lately or doing anything busy, but I am trying to enjoy my life. So, enough of this video. I think this is about what I wanted to get out of this video. Stay tuned for plenty more content. It's Opex. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you're going to be part of the resistance. Not like InfoWar resistance, because I don't really care about that. And I'm not worried about being part of a team. And hopefully we got the numbers on our team. Don't give a flying fuck. But stay tuned for more content. There is plenty more coming. It's Opex. Become your greatest version. Get those gains. Put that smile on your face. Have the power of positivity. Everything in life is yin and yang. There's a balance to life. I've said this plenty of times on my channel. Be balanced. Talk about that negativity and then being positive. You need both. You can't just operate in life with one. But I agree, power positivity is essential. It is beautiful. And when I see a person with positivity, it radiates light. It's beautiful. Be part of it. Be part of our team, guys. We are our greatest versions. We are the superheroes of the world. Don't wait for Superman or another president to come here to save the day. You're the superhero. You. Be part of the superheroes. Because that's what we are. Alright, that's enough for this video. I can go on all day about bullshit, but the Great Resistance, let's be part of it. Thanks, guys. See ya!